Estimate might just strike the front.
Racing may be the sport of kings, but throughout her life it was the sport of our Queen.
A royal win in the Gold Cup. Estimate has done it. Estimate and Ryan Moore has won for Her Majesty the Queen.
And on a day out at Royal Ascot, if one of her horses came in, she found it very difficult to hide her delight.
But it's all about Estimate here.
She was very tense and she grabbed my arm, and just when we hit the front she said, "I've done it." And of course it was one of the great moments. Everybody in the royal box was so excited for her. She just rushed down to the paddock, and all she really wanted to do was touch the horse again. She really, really loved her horses. It was an incredibly emotional time.
The Queen's passion for horses was sparked right at the very start of her life.
If responsibilities of high estate seem far removed on this brisk morning, they are nevertheless a very near prospect.
She grew into a fine horsewoman with a growing interest in thoroughbred races.
It was always part of her. She always knew her horses. They were part of the family. Her father, King George VI, had an Oaks winner called Sun Chariot. It was a brilliant mare. And the Queen went to see the filly at Beckhampton and stroked its beautiful, soft, satiny skin. And she always was supposed to have refused to wash her hand for 2 days because it was such a lovely feel.
It was here at the Royal Stud at Sandringham that the Queen indulged that interest and produced her fair share of winners.
There's Monaveen going up now.
Her first, Monaveen, delighted a princess in the stand at Hurst Park in 1950.
As he went on to increase his lead and bring off a clear-cut victory by 6 lengths, the princess's delight was no longer in doubt.
Another of her big stars was Oriole, seen here at the Coronation Derby in 1953.
What she used to love to do was come to the yard. I mean, that was her day out. She would wander through the barns and talk to all the lads and thoroughly enjoy it. It's a shame, really, that she couldn't come racing more often than she did, really. So what we tried to do was get runners for her at Ascot.
Horses, of course, also played a role in the ceremony of the Queen's public life, most often at Trooping the Colour. Her horsemanship and her composure were put to the test in 1981 when someone in the crowd fired blank shots at her. Her Majesty didn't flinch. Private moments could be glimpsed at Sandringham, out riding with a groom, or driving herself back and forth to the stables. This was her escape.
Horses were an escape because something she could do physically and go right on. In her 90s she was riding. But also, without being trite about it, they didn't talk. You know, everybody wants to talk to the Queen or daren't talk to the Queen. The horse is going to be the same whether it's the Queen or you or me.
Horses were the Queen's great hobby. Racing and breeding these beautiful animals gave her a huge amount of pleasure. And they drew out aspects of her character, the attention to detail, the consideration for others, and the ability not to get too carried away with either the good times or the bad that defined so many parts of her life and reign.
And coming away, free agent, it's a royal winner.
Such was the Queen's devotion to public duty. The pleasures that she enjoyed in the few hours of spare time she allowed herself were very rarely seen. Horses were her most precious pastime. She couldn't have done without her racing, and racing will certainly miss her.
Geraint Vincent, News at 10.